30-mile gusts today. So we figured it's a perfect day to get back on the International. What do you think, Abby? Well, we're back here on our neighbor's 1963 International B414 diesel. We actually weren't planning on making a part 2. We checked out the generator yesterday. We ran it through all the checks that we could find. We grounded out the field terminal, which would bypass the voltage regulator and make it go full charge. Didn't make a difference. We tried polarizing the generator and then redoing the test. Didn't make a difference. Then we took the belt off and put power on it, and it should have motored, but it didn't. So we're 99% sure that that generator's bad. We talked to our neighbor yesterday, and he's not really sure how this tractor is going to fit into his fleet at the moment. So he's not too much in a hurry to get that fixed, so we're going to move on. We did, yesterday, off camera, weld up this lever here like we were supposed to. We did it the hard way, of course. We took these 3 bolts out, pulled the whole assembly out. That way we could weld it all the way around and get it to where it had the proper preload so that it locks in the detents. And putting it back together was a royal pain in the butt. We couldn't see where the shift fork on this went with this fender on. So I decided to pull the fender off so that I could get in there and see what I was dealing with. And that was a saga in itself. In fact, that bolt there is still stuck in the fender. And we had that whole thing cherry red and an impact on it. So we're going to try to reuse that. To start, we're going to bolt this fender and foot pan back on. That should be pretty easy. Okay, that's done. All right. Now we're going to move on to the tack drive. Okay, so we're back here in the shop, and we've got our new cable and our new tack drive. Now, the tack drive on the tractor is missing the guts to this, so we got to replace this part. Here's the problem. The new cable, this end fits the tack drive. This end, way too big for our gauge. So we sent all the measurements off to the company we got it from, and they're trying to find us the correct cable. But I had an epiphany last night. Here's what's left of the old cable. The sheath and everything is fine. The ends fit both the gauge and the tack drive, but the cable's broken, missing. So I'm going to take the cable out of this, put it in this, and use this. The problem is this one, the new cable is a little bit longer. So I have to cut it, trim it, and do a couple other things. So we used to play with RC boats pretty heavily back in the day, and we did several flex shaft conversions. So I'm hoping the tricks that I learned doing that will help me with this. So I need to cut this about a ½ inch shorter. But the minute I cut it, it's going to come unfurled. In fact, I tried to expand the square portion last night, and it's starting to come unraveled back here. So what we're going to do, and I used to have this, I don't know what happened to it, but we're going to use some flux and some silver solder, and we're going to coat this cable. And that'll hold it together when we cut it and we grind it. Now, we might have to do it a couple times, but it should work. So we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. Step 1 in this process is to clean this very well. So we're going to use our last can of Berkable car cleaner. Give it a good hose and wipe down. The next thing we're going to do is hit it with some flux. This will draw the silver solder into it. Now, I don't know if this is going to be hot enough or not, but we're going to try to use our Snap-on Torch 300 to apply the silver solder. Doesn't appear to be sticking like it should. So after a total fail with the silver solder, we resort to super glue. We've done this a couple times. We're going to super glue it, let it dry. Then we'll come back with a grinder and cut it. And after we get it cut, we'll put another coat of super glue on it. We'll let it dry again. And I'm happy to say that it worked. Well, let's move on into cleaning that disgusting air filter. Let's start here by dumping the reservoir. This is a historic air filter type called an oil bath. I don't know why they got rid of them, other than they just last too long. All these leaves got in here. Looks like a lot of dirt too. Look at that. It's disgusting. And the air filter's jammed up with it too. Let's let this soak and go. Come on, really? We'll let that soak and gunk, then we'll hose that off. Get back to scraping this out. Disgusting. And last but not least, the intake tube is caked up full of crap, so we're going to deal with that as well. First thing I'm going to do is kind of rough it up with a screwdriver. As you can see, all the crap's falling out. With a longer screwdriver, we're going to go to town. As you can see, it's caked thoroughly. Let's take this paper towel and shove it down there. Let's do it again. Okay. What a mess. To the guy that decided to put this here and not give you enough room to put a ratchet on it, he can go to hell. Fortunately, with my awesome flangey strength, I was able to get it loose with a wrench and get it the rest of the way with my finger. Yep. That looks camshaft driven to me. And the guts are clearly missing. Just like I thought. Okay. Now we'll get the bolt started with our fingers. So, you know, OMC back in the 80s, they had special screws that it might have been a 1/4 inch screw, but instead of a 7/16 head, they had 3/8. Something like that would have been very good on this, because there's not enough space between there and there to get a socket on it. Okay, let's get this short one in. Shit. Hold on, I gotta put the camera down. Alright, we got that started. Now can I get it turned in with my finger and then do the final torque with a ratchet or the wrench? Let's see. I'll tell you, this is a miserable experience. Let me put the camera down and try to work on that. Well, let's go ahead and reinstall this cable, or install this cable. Man, if only it went like that on episode 1. That's awesome. Okay. I think that's a 5/8 I gotta go in and get. Okay, we're gonna hook the gauge up now. Oh, man, this is great. Well, the light bulb I got does not fit, so we're going to have to deal with that at a later date. But being he don't want to fix the charging system, it's probably not an issue. Uh-oh. Just had enough of these cows. I got some now. Now the question is, how long is this actually going to work? Being the cables held together with super glue. Nice, that's one more thing accomplished. Well, let's go ahead, we'll get the air cleaner put back together, and then we'll go take this thing for a ride down to the river. Well, after a good bit of time, the air filter looks presentable. So we'll go ahead and slide that back up in there where that belongs. What are you trying to tell him? What are you trying to tell him? Where are you going? On this episode of Abnormal Garage, we are going to use 30 weight oil. They say this thing takes a quart. It might even take more than that. Alright, let's hold that level and see. I think we're right at that line, so we're going to go ahead and reinstall this. This fits over like that, and then we drop the V-band clamp down like that. And it's got this little hand screw here that you stick in like that. Go ahead and tighten up the hand screw on the V-band clamp. I don't know exactly what the service interval is. I would say as soon as the oil looks dirty, it's time. And now we're going to go ahead and re-tighten up the filter housing. I had to loosen it up to get it off this plate. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this back up, like so. Well, now that we got our air filter done, let's go put some of these tools away and we'll get it fired up. That's so cool. All right, let's take this thing for a spin. Well, after a beautiful cruise through the forest and over the mountains, we made it down to the river. This is the rocky beach on Schiff's Creek. We've had this down here before, but last time the radiator was leaking pretty bad. The stop leak's doing its job. Let's go over here and show you the tack. It's still holding on, working real good. One thing that we did not show you was the PTO lever working. So let's engage that real quick. It locks in the detent nice and solid. The tiller's working. Now we got to pull it out of the detent and disengage it. I don't think it's going to jump out of gear anymore. It locks pretty solid. Feel free to like the video, share it with your friends that are into international tractors, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to get all notifications of our releases, and we'll see you on the next episode of Abby Normal Garage.